Fabrizio Romano has dropped a few big bits of news today, particularly on Joao Gomes. It looks like if Manchester United are going to sign anyone in January, it will be Joao Gomes. Now, this is not the big midfield signing. The big midfield signing will be in the summer. They are going to go all out for Elliot Anderson, if not Baleba. But they're looking at the Agate sort of replacement. If Casemiro gets injured or suspended, does Agati come in, or would you rather have Joao Gomes in? You'd rather have Joao Gomes in. If you look at Arsenal, you look at their depth, it's so good. Joao Gomes is someone, if he comes in for depth, you get great depth. And his numbers defensively are insane this season. We're going to talk about Joao Gomes, Elliot Anderson. Joao Gomes wants the move. He's ready for Manchester United move. Romano reveals. And we're going to talk about the latest on that. Stay tuned. Lots to talk about. But Romano also confirms a deal will be done this week. The Orozco midfield signing will be finalised this week. He's given updates on other midfield plans. Another tier 1 has spoken about Semenyo and our interest in him. And the next Neymar, a Santos wonder kid winger, has been linked to Manchester United as well. So lots of news to get into, lots of good news, lots of positive news. So if you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new and want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, feel free to subscribe. I do a 10-minute roundup every day, keeping you up to date on the latest United news. Let's get into it. So, Romano said a few things on Joao Gomes. The first thing he said was, Joao Gomes is one of the names under consideration at Man United for the midfield position. He's seen as an opportunity if Wolves decide to let him go in January. The second thing he said is, Joao Gomes is very keen and happy to go to United. He's under consideration as an opportunity, not priority. He's not in the same category as Elliot Anderson and Baleba. We're going to get into the other stuff that was said, but let me just break this down. Joao Gomes has been linked to Manchester United a lot in the last 2 weeks by credible sources, and it is seen as a realistic midfield deal. We're not going for Joao Gomes over Elliot Anderson. We cannot get Elliot Anderson in January. We cannot get Carlos Baleba in January. They're the two midfielders Man United want the most, but we can't get them in January. So Man United are going to go for them in the summer. That is the Casemiro replacement. But Manchester United also want another midfield signing. We don't just want to sign one midfielder, we want to sign two. Some even say maybe three, depending on if Bruno goes. And we know that Agate is going to be replaced in the summer. It doesn't, they're not going to put that out now. But I think Agate is going to get the Anana Højlund treatment where we've signed your replacement. You should go in the summer. You're not going to get the minutes. He's not getting the minutes. I think Agate is going to get the Højlund Anana treatment at the end of the season. Joao Gomes is the Agate replacement. Can you get Joao Gomes in January for 40 million? Yes, we can. If Wolves are willing to sell, we'll get him in January because we can't get who we want to get in January until the summer. And then in the summer, we go all in for Elliot Anderson. Romano is now confirmed it is true. We're looking at Joao Gomes. There's been a lot of links to Joao Gomes, a lot of talk about Joao Gomes, and Romano has confirmed it is true. United is seriously considering Joao Gomes. He is on the list. This is an opportunity, not a priority. But Joao Gomes wants the move. So you've now got Romano dropping the Bomba because he is one of the best source of information that we want Joao Gomes. Any journalist can link us to a player, but then when Romano and Ornstein link us to a player, it's just that different level. Like, okay, it's true. We're in for that player. And I think Adam describes this best. The best way to think about Joao Gomes is as an Agate replacement. Casemiro replacement won't be available until the summer, and a player like Gomes with his physicality, ball-carrying defensive work rate, and ball retention shapes him as genuine quality and depth. While he might not be the creative passer or progressive one that we're craving out for, he's the type of midfielder Manchester United need, and it's clear there is a depth issue in the squad. When Agate replaces Casemiro, the drop-off is steep, the club needs to address it. It might not be a sexy signing, but it's a necessary one, and I agree. You look at Arsenal. Mascara might have not been a sexy signing. Hincapia might not have been a sexy signing. But with Gabriel having a little injury, Hincapia comes in. With Saliba having a bit of injury, Mascara comes in. Boom. Norgard might not be a sexy signing, but it's depth. Madueke wasn't, a signing that Arsenal fans wanted, but is good depth for Saka. He could take Saka off against Bayern Munich when it's 1-1. Madueke comes on and scores 2 minutes later. Look at Arsenal. Unfortunately, they're the best team in the world right now. And look at their depth. Look at their depth. That's what we need to achieve. Arsenal looking like the best team in the world right now. And if you look at their depth, that's what Joao Gomes gives you. He wouldn't be in your best starting 11, but that's depth. You've got Elliot Anderson to replace Casemiro, Joao Gomes to replace Agate. Maynard hopefully will be the future. I think Bruno would be replaced with an Adam Morton type player. I think if he goes, because someone to play specialist in the pivot. But yeah, and Ben Jacobs even adds to this news. In an ideal world, Manchester United would love the signings of Baleba and Anderson. He says, Joao Gomes is an opportunity. We like Joao Gomes. We could go from in January. But of course, in an ideal world, Baleba and Anderson's what we want. And there's more and more reports suggesting that we're going to prioritise Anderson over Baleba, which I'm all for because if you look at how much better Elliot Anderson's been than Baleba this season, then I absolutely agree with United prioritising Anderson over Baleba. Before I get into the news on Orozco, the signing and deal that's going to be done this week, I will talk about Joao Gomes as someone that is very good at defending large spaces, very good at dueling and aggressive, very good at the defensive work. And we talk about how we concede so many goals when Casemiro comes off the pitch. We concede so many goals. So Joao Gomes is quite good cover. He has very similar ball winning skills to Casemiro, but one thing he has over Casemiro is energy. Joao Gomes is maybe not as experienced and maybe not as clutch at scoring goals or headers as Casemiro, but what Joao Gomes is he's a bit of a mini Casemiro. He's got the energy, he's got the legs that Casemiro doesn't have, on top of similar ball-winning ability to him, which kind of makes sense for him to come in as a January deal, if I'm going to be honest. I think Joao Gomes is a good bit of business and a player I've been speaking about on this channel for maybe 2 years. Anyway, deal done this week. Let's dive into this story. Exclusive. Manchester United's next signing, Cristian Orozco, will be in the UK in the next days to complete his move. Now, we've got Here We Go for this guy like 2 months ago. Romano said people were going to sign him like 2 months ago, but he's coming to the UK to actually do the medical, complete the move. Bish bash bosh. He's a 17-year-old midfielder. He cost $1 million, which is about 700k, I believe. And he is seen as the next Moises Caicedo. We've already brought in a new recruitment person to help us find the next Moises Caicedo. I think Manchester United must be regretting so much passing up on Caicedo for 4 million and also Declan Rice for 30 million a couple of years ago, that they are like trying to sign Deku Kone or this guy. They got to find the next one. That's what United are like. They're bringing in scouts to find the next one. They're going all out for Elliot Anderson as the Declan Rice type signing, Joao Gomes as the depth. I think United have woken up and realised, damn, we need to get this midfield sorted. We need to get it fixed. And look, I'm not going to act like I watched Colombia's under-17s play, but people have watched Colombia's under-17s play and say, this guy on the ball is ridiculous. This guy off the ball is ridiculous. He apparently is believed to be the closest thing to Moises Caicedo at youth level. I mean, who knows if he will ever make it. He's such a young kid. But the levels he's putting up at under-17s level is well and truly ahead of all the other under-17s. And a lot of people are excited about him. I want to continue on into more stories. A lot of people keep saying, well, what's the Adam Morton talk? We keep hearing Baleba and Anderson, but what about Adam Morton? So it has been said in regards to Adam Morton that Adam Morton is in the Liam Delap category. He wants a club with Champions League football. This is what Ben Jacobs said on the United Stand today. He said if United get Champions League football, they'd be strong contenders to get Adam Morton in 2026. Now, it's believed that Adam Morton will have a £65 million release clause active in the summer. Liverpool, Man United, probably Chelsea because they're greedy, City, Tottenham, they're all going to be looking at that, but Real Madrid might be there as well. And, you know, with all the teams looking at him, Man United might not be able to compete without Champions League football. In terms of Semenyo news, Andy Mitten was asked on Semenyo when he said that United did go for Semenyo last summer. That's true. But the word from Bournemouth was they wanted 70 million, and that's why a lot of teams walked away from him, because at the time they didn't feel that he was worth 70 million. He is almost worth 70 million now because he's been better this season than he was last season, and he's put his price up, and now he has a 65 million clause. But Semenyo is absolutely somebody that United would be interested in signing, said Andy Mitten. So that could be one to watch. But the feeling is we're going to prioritise midfield. But Semenyo, 65 million is an opportunity in January. Romano said that United are going to act on opportunities. Could we push for him? Yes. Do I think he's going to go to Liverpool? Probably. And then last but not least, I want to talk about a report that's come out from Sully. So Sully dropped this. Manchester United are monitoring the situation of 17-year-old Santos winger Robinho Jr. Santos sources don't rule out a sale by the end of the year to help the financial situation. Now, I've done a bit quick Google of this guy. I've seen clips of this guy. And from clips, looks like a baller. 17-year-old winger in Brazil compared to Neymar, looks like a baller. You're looking at Esteval for Chelsea and thinking, I want the next one of those. I don't know enough about him to tell you guys much more other than he looks great in clips. But how many players have we signed? They've looked great in clips and they've come to this club and we're like, ooh. But this is a 17-year-old talent, one for the future, Robinho Jr., and one to watch. We know that United want to sign a lot of the next big things. Anyway, we're at the 10-minute mark, so thank you for watching today's roundup. See you next time. Bye.